Leland taking the day off, and for whatever reason, AJ, he entrusted me with the show. Why would he do that?
I have no idea.
I really don't know either, but either way, welcome into it. Friday afternoon, rainy. I'm Steve West. Got Jeff Myers in studio. Josh Walsh is here.
What's happening, man?
And AJ, as you know, running the board. We got David coming in here in a little bit. Ryan calling in from Maryland. You got rain up in Maryland, Ryan?
No, so far it's been clear skies all day, brother.
Well, then what we're going to get will probably hit you either tomorrow evening or Sunday.
I hope not.
Hey, it's our gift to you, my man. What we got going on this Friday afternoon is kind of long form. We usually have the Entertainment Roundtable that comes up on Saturday mornings. Well, it will, but it will be a recorded version that starts right about now. Don't you guys have like a replay, starts about 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning, AJ?
Yes, and it will be this show.
It will be the show.
Fantastic. Wonderful.
So from 3 to 5, you'll get a replay of the Entertainment Roundtable. From 5 to 6, leading into Joe Lockett's show, you'll get a replay of the Fastest Hour in Radio, which is going to follow this. So it's just going to be like doing the Friday night show all over again. Welcome into it.
What strange alchemy is this?
I know. It's so weird how it all came together, ain't it? Just kind of give you a quick idea of what's going on out there. Really, nothing has broken as far as what's happening in the Ukraine. President Obama called it a global strategy in about a 10-minute, otherwise didn't really say anything, news conference earlier on today. Let's see, what else is going on?
I saw they think maybe someone might have grabbed the black boxes.
Yeah, and the funny thing
area.
is one of the Ukraine-Russian separatists said, it ain't us.
Right, I'm sure it wasn't.
Can we really trust that?
What crash? Plane?
Plane? Black box? What black box? Don't pay any attention to this orange thing over here. Yeah, again, not much is going on. We'll keep you updated with it as it goes along. We are slated to hear from Deanna Frankowski coming up here at about 5:30, talking about what's going on in the Walmart over there on Highway 280 in Birmingham, way down there by the Lee Branch Shopping Center, not too far away from where you happen to hail from, Josh.
That's true.
They're going to be doing an immigration rally over there, so we'll hear from her coming up at about 5:30. Jacob will be coming in about 5 o'clock. All kinds of good stuff. The one man who's missing so far is David. Everybody else is kind of accounted for. He texted and said that he's stuck in traffic, but he's close.
He's at that immigration rally.
That wouldn't be close.
This is true.
That's true.
All right, welcome into it. Had the opportunity here to see a couple of films. So you've got a movie review.
I do.
Jeff. Ryan, you've got a movie review.
Apes on horses.
Well,
That's the same one that you got, right?
Surprise, yes.
Yes, and then Josh and I last night had the chance to go check out one of the movies that comes out this weekend. We watched The Purge, Anarchy.
Ooh, I got to hear that one.
Okay. We'll get it to you here in just a couple minutes. Starting off with last weekend, Jersey Boy still barely hanging into the top 10, 2.5 million, 41.7 there. Begin Again, I'm not overly familiar. This is one of the films that came out in limited release within the past couple of weeks. Made 2.8 million, 5.2 there. Maleficent doing well at number 8. Deliver Us from Evil, 4.8 million, 25.1 there, and I think it's second week. Earth to Echo in its second week, 5.5 million, so it's not even cracking 25 million yet.
I hated that movie. It's terrible.
You went to go see it? All right, talk to me about it.
Oh, my boss was bringing his kids to go see a movie, and he was like, "Hey, you want to come see a movie?" And I went with him to it. I didn't like it from the trailer. I thought it felt like a found footage ripoff of E.T.
Well, that's pretty much what we all
the
figured.
problem-
It's basically just
It didn't
E.T. with a
work,
robot.
though. It didn't work though. The heart of E.T. wasn't in it. So I mean, there was a lot of these, just like E.T. or Super 8, they were trying to rip off those little kids going on an adventure kind of thing. I just didn't connect with the characters. I thought it was poorly executed. I just overall wasn't very entertaining to me. I got bored pretty much through it. The character was neat, the little CGI character, but it's not a great story. I would probably give it like I don't know, a 2 out of 10.
No.
Woo!
Smack.
Down to, back to
Is the
negative
old Josh
stuff.
back,
Yeah,
by
It
the way?
sounds like.
It sounds, yeah.
I mean, this is the guy who's recently been giving 8s and 9s to movies
Yeah,
here,
I
and
was
I was
doing
wondering
a-
what happened to Josh.
I think I'm back.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
He
'cause
grew
we-
that manly beard and
yeah,
his
apparently
fighting
it's,
spirit back.
apparently it's gotten him a little bit of a attitude, too. Up to the top 5, How to Train Your Dragon 2, 6.1 million, 152 there. 22 Jump Street, $171.8 million. Makes you a pretty happy guy there,
A
doesn't
little
it?
bit. It's doing pretty well.
We'll explain that for those of you who haven't been paying attention necessarily to the Entertainment Roundtable. We did ourselves a little summer movie league draft here, and 22 Jump Street's one of Jeff's films.
One of my winning horses.
Yeah, no kidding. And it looks like you're going to win. As soon as we get to the details of that coming up a little bit later on, you'll find out why we think so. Up to the top three here, and that brings us to Tammy, 12.6, 57 million. Transformers: Age of Extinction. Still don't know how it's making money. 16.3 million, 208.8. And the debut of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, $72.6 million, which seems kind of a little low for a film that has as much hype as this film has had. But we got to talking about it last night with our good friend down at Amstar, Josh, another Josh.
Yeah.
And we've heard that across the board, business is down in the United States of America, despite the fact that around the world it's up.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm still researching. I don't know if I completely agreed with Justin's assessment of it, but like you're seeing, like in the U.S. box office, I think you're seeing a lot of these tentpole films, tentpoles where you put a lot of your money in, you sink your $200 million films. You see those not performing as expected U.S., but you see those way overperforming overseas, and then you start seeing studios releasing these films that aren't expected to be big blockbuster brand films that are making a lot of money, like Fault in Our Stars.
Right.
And there's been a couple surprise hits. Don't smile, Jeff.
That would go back to the summer movie league that we were talking about.
So yeah,
another show pony in my stable.
And I was reading about that today, just about these different kind of films they're not. I wouldn't agree that they're majorly underperforming. I just think they're not as high as expected, and like what you're actually seeing a lot of is really big box office like opening weekends, and you're seeing a pretty swift decline.
Right.
I don't know what that means, but it's interesting.
I'm not sure what it's going to mean for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, but I don't think that anything coming out this weekend is really going to challenge that a whole lot. We'll get back to that in a moment, and we'll start on the review process. Last week, I thought it was okay. I felt it moved a little bit slowly in some places. I thought, though, it was a pretty good movie, and I think in the end I gave it somewhere around a 7, as I remember. I
gave it a
what
higher
you gave
rating. I think I gave it like an 8, didn't I? 8.5 or something like that?
Maybe something like that. I forget exactly
I liked
what
it
it
a
was.
lot.
Let's see where Ryan falls in on this, and then Jeff will come to you.
Okay.
Ryan, where do you fall down on Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
For this sequel, I enjoyed the first one. I really did. So my expectations were a little bit higher than they were before going into the second film. I actually really enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought it was well-paced, despite what some people have been saying. It was slow in the beginning, got better in the second half. Yeah, it did, but still for me, I thought the pacing was good. The action was incredible. Just the interactions with all the apes and how the story fell on them, most of all, was really, really good stuff. All hail Caesar, by the way. Oh, my God. Andy Serkis. Whoo! Man, that guy knows what he's doing. And then, but here's the thing, though. The human characters, I liked them. I didn't love them. They were kind of one note, kind of wooden, not much backstory with the human characters. I would have liked them to have focused on those characters a little bit. I mean, Malcolm was really the only one that was fleshed out, not Jason Clarke's character. I wanted to hear more about Dreyfus. Gary Oldman, one of the best actors in the world. He was kind of just one-noted, somewhat wasted in the film, but overall, still enjoyed it. The visual effects were, by golly, incredible. So I give Dawn of the Planet of the Apes 8 out of 10, man. I loved it.
8 out of 10. So far, so good.
Absolutely.
And you concur?
I do. I think it's one of the best movies so far this year, to be honest with you.
Okay, last week we ranked our top 5 of the year so far. Does this crack your top 5?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Tell me more.
The first movie came out, and no one expected it to be as good as it turned out to be. And then everyone, how are they going to top it? Well, they did. This one's great. It's a great sci-fi movie. I know. I thought it was pretty well paced too. You had to have the build up for the sort of show to get invested in this in the apes society that they've built, and just to sort of see what happens as the film unfolds. To have the proper impact. It's smart. I thought it was a smart move to sort of, in my opinion, to sort of sketch the humans in, because this is more about the apes, what happens to them. And if you've seen one post-apocalyptic film, you sort of get that these human characters are all archetypes that you've seen before. You've got the strong and determined leader of the people, with Gary Oldman.
Right.
The more open-minded, sensitive gentleman with I forget the guy's name.
Jason Clarke.
Thank you, Clarke.
Right.
But
it's right there.
There's in the tradition of the apes and sci-fi, there were some really good the themes and the metaphors of the film. How the tragedy of violence to basically solve problems or create problems. I thought it was really well done, and like everyone has said, the effects are fantastic.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, if the people who between Circus doing Caesar and I forget the guy who did Koba, but the two main apes, great, good stuff. I mean, they seriously. I think we're coming closer and closer to the day where people who do the performances for motion capture actually get some recognition later on.
Yeah,
because and 5 minutes into it, you just accept that the apes are here. They're there.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not effects.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, they're not. It's you can tell. I mean, I'm an animator. I went to animation school, and you can tell the difference between animation, which is hyper exaggerated human-like behavior, and acting in a humanoid-like character. Yeah. There's acting in animation, but this is not animation. This is a performance. This is his puppet.
Correct.
They did a really good job with
amazing.
it. Ultimate rating?
8.5.
8.5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Doing very well.
First time in a while that we're on the similar rating.
Phone lines are open for you at 9411011 and toll free at 866-551-9933. Jim, I see you hanging on. You want to talk about Transformers? We got to take a break. We'll talk about it next. Hey, welcome back in. Listening to Leland live in the form of the Entertainment Roundtable. Leland taking the day off, and he's, for whatever reason, giving me the show. I'm Steve West, Jeff Myers, Josh Walsh, AJ, and Ryan on the phone. Hope everything is going well as we lead into the weekend. And if you're in and around the Birmingham area, right in time for your rush hour. Hey, it rained, so just slow down, drive a little bit more carefully. And as promised, going to the phones, Jim from Birmingham checking in. How are you this afternoon?
Hey, y'all don't need to talk about Transformers. Optimus Prime is bad.
What?
He can ride a dinosaur. He'll come get you.
Well, he needs to come get me. And when we talked about the film, it wasn't that the CGI or the way that they were presented was bad. It was just that the dialogue seemed like it was written by about a 12-year-old.
Well, don't tell me that. I've got to go watch it tonight.
Good luck.
I'm
Yeah.
not looking forward to it.
It was written by a 12-year-old, and then Michael Bay got his hands on it. So,
And the Planet of the Apes, I think that's a futuristic documentary.
You might be right.
When Bigfoot in North Alabama gets tired of us messing with him, I think that's what's going to happen. Hey, I had Bigfoot in there, buddy.
I know you did.
Appreciate it very much. Jim, thanks for the call, man. Take care. So we're saying that Dawn of the Planet of the Apes shouldn't have been set in San Francisco. It should have been set in Huntsville.
There you go, right? Somewhere on I-65 corridor.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been good stuff right there. Coming out this week, not really much that I think, despite the fact that one of them is on my list of the 5 films that I drafted in the Summer Movie League draft, and that's the one that we're going to go to last since we got a couple of reviews on it. We got the animated Planes, Fire, and Rescue. And I didn't see it in the theater, but I saw the original Planes that came out last year, and it was okay, but it wasn't great. It's a family film, but I look at How to Train Your Dragon 2 still out there, Earth to Echo, which granted debuted lower than How to Train Your Dragon 2, but still that's out there. I don't know if this is going to really go very far.
No, hopefully it doesn't. This is Disney doing the wrong thing. This is Disney going back to what made us abandon Disney in the first place and love Pixar, which is putting out these formula films.
Planes is going to make so much bank.
You really think so?
I think so, and here's why.
That's what he's hoping for.
Here's why.
David just walked in.
Like I said, I think the reason that How to Train Your Dragon is sort of underperforming, if you will, is because they progress the story and put a few more, some more, not really adult themes, but some more advanced themes. They're not kids anymore. The characters are growing up. So maybe parents don't want to take their 4 and 5-year-olds to it. My nephews, when the Planes came out, all of them, they were 4 and 5 years old. They loved it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Mom and Dad will take them to see this.
If it does better than How to Train Your Dragon 2,
I don't see it doing that.
I'm gonna do.
I mean, right now we're at 152.3 million, and Planes, the original one, I don't think it even broke 100 million, did it?
I don't think so.
What?
I don't think so.
Made pretty good money.
We can double check that, but I'm not
on
sure
it.
that it made that. But Planes, Fire, and Rescue features the voices of Dane Cook, Ed Harris, Julie Bowen, whole lot more. Dusty, the plane that we got familiar with, learns that he's not going to be able to race again because of a major engine problem. So he's joining in with a crew of fire and rescue aircraft in order to battle a large wildfire.
No, Dusty, no.
No.
He can't race.
That's a pretty good plot.
How are you, David?
I'm all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, a little tired.
Driving along 280, yeah, you would be.
No, I was driving along 65.
Close enough.
That's where I got
That ought to do it, too.
plugged up there.
You look
Yep.
fresh.
I'm not.
I know, I was kidding.
The other film, and these two films have one thing in common. These both are films that David is hoping performs well because he has both of them in the draft. Sex Tape. Cameron Diaz, Jason Segel, filmed about a couple who take a video of themselves having sex and inadvertently upload it through the cloud onto the internet, and then they have to try and go get the thing back off. Were you able to actually go see this last night?
No.
No, wasn't able to go do it.
Yeah, I wound up training for a new job that I'm doing now. So.
Oh, well, congratulations on the new
How to
gig,
Train
man.
Your David.
It's getting roasted by the reviews,
Which I'm really not surprised about.
Yeah.
Truth be told, it seems like it might have some funny moments, but I'm kind of done with the whole raunchy comedy side of things.
Yeah.
That's why I have no urge to go see Tammy.
Oh yeah, I had no urge to
Whatever.
see Tammy.
So, all right, that
A
brings
little
us
bit of urge to see this one.
brings us to The Purge, Anarchy. Frank Grillo, Zach Gilford, and several others. Continuation of last year's thriller surmises a future in which we have low crime rates, all because of a 12-hour period once a year where anything goes without incrimination. This time we concentrate on, instead of people in a home trying to defend it, a few people that were caught outside when The Purge commences. Went and saw it last night. Josh, you want to lead off?
Yeah, I think so.
Go for it.
Well, I wanted to say a little bit, if we have time, a fact about the first one, which is interesting. They spent $3 million on the first one, and it was the highest grossing R-rated horror film of all time.
Okay.
Ethan Hawke actually signed on to it because the director was his best friend.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't
signed
get
up for
paid.
points on the back end?
Yeah, exactly. He didn't
There
get
you
paid.
go.
He got paid what they call for scale. So it made $90 million worldwide. So he probably made a lot of money
I'm sure he
off
did.
that. So I always like these like kind of new underdog films that do really well, like the first one. And then they screw it up on the second one. So like Paranormal Activity and the other 20 films they made after it. I enjoyed the first one. It wasn't my favorite film. I thought it was interesting. I always like the premise. I like situations where you throw people in it and see how they perform.
Right.
I liked the trailer to this one. I thought it looked pretty cool. I thought the film was pretty poorly done. I just felt like for the promise in the trailer, they didn't deliver. It felt very small, like the world, once you got into it in the film. And there was some, action that delivered on, and that's what I was going in there for. I wasn't going in there for wonderful dialogue, because the dialogue, it was like written by like a homeless guy. Then they took it and made it worse. It was like it was painful. It was just we were just turning and laughing at each other at lines.
All right, answer me this: did one person say at least one time, "Why are you doing this"? Was it?
Oh, like 100.
That was,
100 times.
more than one character
was
said
this-
that.
Weird like nonchalantness to some of the characters. Like people were just kind of like
Okay.
very casual, like, oh, the purge is going up. Ooh, we're dead. It's just like,
Why are you
come
doing
on.
this?
They're like, well, we'll be safe, and they're like just bolting their lock on their door,
Yeah.
like they're
Turn the
their
deadbolt. We're
deadbolt.
good.
We'll be fine, and these guys are
Right.
just yeah. So I thought it was overall pretty poorly done film. So I'd probably give it like a 3 out of 10. It was pretty
It
terrible.
was better than the other one that you gave.
But if you're looking for that kind of mindless shoot 'em up action and kind of enjoyable experience, I would still go see it.
In an age of crossovers, I'm just floating this out there. Batman in The Purge. Just
That'd
saying.
be awesome.
That would be actually kind of fun. Would have made it a lot more exciting to watch the film that we saw last night.
Why are
I'll
you
tell you that
doing
right
this?
now.
Why are you doing this?
I am the night.
I had not seen the first one when we went in, so I still, I'm familiar with it because we talked about it and seen the trailers and everything like that, but I'd never seen it. But I did find that the premise was interesting. So I walked in last night and, first of all, freaking out over the fact that Josh wanted to go see The Purge. And then...
it's the worst side of me.
Yeah, apparently. So I sit in there and I'm like, okay, and it does a half-decent job of kind of setting you up and explaining the premise again at the very beginning of the film, so you don't necessarily have to have seen the first one to be able to get into this and understand where we're going with it. And then you get into the characters and how they all end up finding themselves out in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night on the night of the Purge. Never got invested in the characters. Couldn't have cared less whether one of them lived or died. Sorry, just couldn't. It just didn't drive me that far. And about midway through the film, I got this... All of a sudden, I just sat up in the seat, and I went, wait a minute. I've seen this before. And it took me a couple of minutes, and then I realized. So, you said, if this is the kind of film that you like, go see this? No. If this is the kind of film you like where people are getting chased, do yourself a favor, watch the circa 1980 film The Warriors. Much better film.
I felt like there was a lot of political overtones to it.
Oh, very
I
much
felt
so.
like this was what Democrats believed the world of America would look like if the Tea Party took over in full control.
You think?
Yes.
Well, and it's goes so far as to say that this is America 2023,
It was.
an America in the year 2023, and the people who have come up with the idea of the purge are called the new founding fathers.
They're like praying over their purging and.
You know,
Gotcha.
and all the rich people here are evil because the vast majority of them are going out and they're spending vast amounts of money to go get poor people who are sick and dying and getting them to volunteer to have themselves killed. I mean, come on.
I do feel like there's a few people I know that would be out purging.
So why are we doing this? Because freedom.
Yeah, pretty much. So you gave it a 3. This isn't not one of the worst 3 films I've seen this year. Certainly nowhere near the best. It's just a mediocre film that just kind of lays there, unfortunately, because I've got it drafted. I give it a 5. It is, but that's really all I can say about it. So when we come back, we'll continue to talk about some of the other movies that are coming out and kind of long-form discussion, some of the things that are coming up here in the very short future as the Entertainment Roundtable / Leland Live rolls on. Hey, welcome back in. Rolling on through on a Friday evening. Leland Live has become the Entertainment Roundtable. We appreciate you listening. David in the studio, and let's see, Jeff, Josh, Ryan on the phone. AJ, having a good time over there? Entertaining yourself?
Oh, I am.
All right. Well, we're going to get you into this here in just a little bit because we're going to start talking about some films, and one of which I know that you're going to be very invested in, I'm sure. But out in limited release, if you want to, you might have to do a little bit of hunting and searching, but you might be able to find a movie called Wish I Was Here, starring Zach Braff and Kate Hudson.
I supported that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a huge Kickstarter.
You
guy.
kickstarted it?
I did.
You go,
Okay.
boy.
I'm hearing that this might be Zach Braff's last chance when it comes to making a movie of his own. If this doesn't do well, he may find himself just having to suck up and act a lot more.
Well, I actually really do hope this film does well because it would be the first crowdsourced funded film that would actually do well. For some reason, these Kickstarter films and these crowdsourced films haven't done so well. Like you saw, like Veronica Mars, they raised like $5 million for it on Kickstarter, and it did like $2 million in the box office.
Right.
Because everyone already spent their money trying to fund the Kickstarter.
Well,
Can't
no,
afford to go see it.
yeah, I mean, I've funded like 25 projects on Kickstarter. I love Kickstarter; it's like one of my things. And so I've been following this movie along. And I'm actually really excited for it. I think it's really quirky. The critics liked Garden State, but they've really roasted this film.
Yeah.
It's like 33 maybe on Rotten Tomatoes, which
If
is
you're lucky.
disappointing. Actually, I was hoping that wouldn't, because that kind of stuff really helps a small independent film,
Gotcha.
especially on a limited release. I think they're only coming in like 20 cities or something like that.
Maybe, something like that. Film's called I Origins, Mood Indigo, Alive Inside, and a film called Persecuted, which stars James Remar, Dean Stockwell, and Fred Dalton Thompson, former Senator Fred Thompson. And this is a film that actually our buddy over on our sister station, WXJC, Greg Davis, he had the producer of the film on earlier today, Friday, and in case you're listening to a replay. And they got to talking about this is a kind of political thriller based upon the fact that the government wants to outlaw Christianity, and there's one member in the House of Representatives that's holding the bill up, and they are actually attempting to kill this person. This is playing in the Birmingham area in like 4 different cities.
So this
or
is
4
The
different
Purge Rises.
screens. Yeah, apparently. So at some
The
point in
Tea
time, I
Partiers
may
take
actually
over.
try and check this out. I
I
find
know a lot of
find that kind of stuff
Isn't Ben
interesting.
Stein involved with this as well?
Yes.
I thought so. Yeah, I know some of the guys marketing it.
Out in theaters next week, Hercules
Hercules with a rock.
and Lucy.
Right on. Number 5 from the stable.
Another week I won't be going to the theater.
I don't know. I got to go see Lucy.
I got to see Lucy, man. Come on.
I got to check it out. And
Wait, none of you guys are up for
I'm thinking
Hercules?
the guy on the phone might be interested in checking out Hercules.
I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah. I got more of an urge to see Lucy, so if we can all kind of, figure this out, and I don't know whether you can actually see the movie beforehand, Ryan, but, if you can, I'd be interested to have a bunch of different reviews here.
Yeah. I will try, but I can tell you this, though. I'm going to check out both Hercules and Lucy in the same weekend.
There you go. I like it. All right, let's kind of go a little long form here and talk about some of these and catch up. I don't know whether everybody saw the trailer for the movie called Laggies. Keira Knightley, Sam Rockwell?
I didn't.
No? All right.
I did.
Let's talk about it.
What'd you think? We are going to talk about it, whether you like it or not.
I'm afraid to, because it's been a while since they've taken my man card away, so I'm afraid to admit to anything.
Did you shed a tear?
I don't want to
I
touch
did.
your man card, so don't
Yeah.
worry about that.
I
I've
will
grown
punch
this,
your man
this
card.
thick beard, so I feel like I'm safe.
Well, use the thick beard and talk about it.
So yeah, I saw the trailer. It looks quirky.
Well, that's a good word for it.
But you know what? I've been surprised by some of these films that I think in the past I wouldn't have liked. Like, Silver Linings Playbook is now one of my favorite films, and it looked quirky and indie, and I liked it, and I liked Fault in Our Stars. So, you know what? Maybe this is kind of a quirky love story. I'm not sure. It's kind of weird to me, personally, watching the trailer.
Weird's a good word for it.
I watched the trailer, and I don't really get it, but I'll wait till it comes out, and I'll see it.
Okay.
I think
Like
it looks
Keira
real dumb.
There you go.
Straight and to the point. Quite frankly, it looked like it would be a little bit on the boring side, and I'm sorry. I'm not sure where I see Sam Rockwell and Keira Knightley becoming an item. Those two just don't seem to mix to me for whatever reason, but...
It's a little odd.
Sam Rockwell always seems really skeezy to me.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's what he has played for the most part. You think about his parts that he's most well known for. He's known for playing a prisoner in The Green Mile.
Yeah.
And he's known for playing a bad bumbling idiot in Iron Man.
Oh boy, that was a career bad time.
Hey, he made money.
I don't care. That movie was bad.
Nah.
So I don't know. I don't see
Yeah,
this
it's
being huge.
Oh, it's definitely not huge. I just didn't know if it was going to be one of these quirky films that
But
actually
hey,
turns out
could be a
to have
date night film, guys. Just be prepared. Ryan, you noted the recent cover. Is this the latest cover, or is this the one that's set to come out, the Entertainment Weekly magazine featuring the new Avengers movie, Age of Ultron?
Oh no, it's out right now.
Out right now. You read the article on it?
Yes, I did.
Talk to me.
It's interesting. It's good stuff. It kind of gives away a few potentially minor, if not major, spoilers in the course of the article, but I still read it anyway, like an idiot. But yeah, it looks good. Images from the set look fantastical. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with this one. I mean, it's Age of Ultron. You got James Spader, so what more do you need?
All right.
Actually, I got this too. If somehow I obviously have a new subscription to Entertainment Weekly. I'm not sure how that happened since.
Did you send him a gift subscription, Ryan?
No, I didn't, but I do have a subscription though.
All right.
Yeah, I know. It was in the mailbox yesterday. Addressed to me. I was like, "What the what? I have a subscription. Well, okay."
Sure. As long as you ain't got to pay for it, what are you worried about?
He's right. I mean, it did give away maybe a couple of possible spoilers, but I think it's some rumors that I've read anyway.
Yeah.
As far as some.
So you don't feel
basic
like this
plot
is anything that blew the lid off of something that you didn't already possibly know before?
Right.
Okay.
But I'll give you, Ultron looks good. The design's it's nice. People who know the character will be pleased.
Okay.
I know I was.
And I'm digging the new Cap uniform too.
Yeah, I, like
I haven't
that
seen
too,
it.
Yeah.
It's sort of a combo of his World War II and the new uniform.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of a little nod, but still got the futuristic style to it.
Yeah, the it's sort of like his Avengers top with some modifications and his like sort of baggier pants.
So you're saying it looks better than his uniform in Avengers?
Much better.
I didn't think that was possible.
All right, then.
Your Sarcasmatron has turned to 12, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But this goes to 12. Later on, we're going to get Ant-Man, and that's going to work in connection in some ways with the Avengers. But for the introduction movie, David, you have learned some things about Ant-Man.
Kevin Feige came out, and he's been talking about Peyton Reed and how he didn't just, like, shuffle into the role as director, picking up where Edgar Wright left off. He says that apparently he also pitched for 2005's Fantastic Four and Guardians of the Galaxy.
We'll get back to Fantastic Four in a minute.
Yeah.
Days feeling love tonight.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Cranked up and ready to grump.
Now, Feige says it wasn't a slam dunk that Peyton Reed would just step in and do it. He wanted to be sure that he wasn't just inheriting something or following someone else's lead, or wasn't inheriting something that the evil studio had watered down to be something bad. Feige kept saying, you can either read what's online or come in and talk to us and look at all this stuff. So he looked at everything, he talked to them, and he said, number one, I agree with the direction you're going in, and number two, I can add to it. So they're saying that they're actually following the template for Edgar Wright's movie.
Okay, so we have.
I don't believe them.
Right.
All right. Well, here's the question: do you believe this more than the news about Fantastic Four? Because they are going to try and reboot it, David. But you found out the next movie. Apparently, one of the actors that's in the film said that this won't have anything to do with the comic book mythology.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that.
The
That I
first two
believe.
didn't.
Actress
Yeah,
Kate,
no kidding.
Actress Kate Mara is starring as Sue Storm, quote unquote, in the Fantastic Four reboot, and she admitted that she has never read any of the comics, and she was going to, but Josh Trank told her that she shouldn't do it because the plot won't be based on any history of anything already published.
So basically, we've started off already with Fantastic Four taking a step back.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to see it. I already knew I probably was going to see it. It's Fantastic Four is done by Fox. They don't know how to do anything, except
Whoa.
for Days of Future Past, and that was the best X-Men movie that's happened in years. So that's a fluke as far as I'm concerned at this point.
They do good apes movies.
It's a masterpiece.
You know, they've already
I'm talking about comic books here.
Fox is the first studio this year to pass $1 billion in box office revenue.
Days of Future Past.
That and Apes and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
pretty
hello.
cool.
That seems late, though, doesn't it?
What? They're the only studio
To pass $1 billion?
for one studio?
But see, it's their hubris.
Seems late to me.
They're
I
like they're
don't know
still
why.
unwilling
Research
to
that.
make good, source material comic book movies. They're like, we can do it better, and then they don't.
So for Days of Future Past.
That was the. I just said it. Do you not listen? I just said that was a fluke that happened. I enjoyed it, but I mean,
That
let's
would
look
work.
at the previous installments.
The Wolverine was good.
It
was better than Wolverine Origins.
About halfway through it was, and then
The Wolverine was terrible.
yeah, in the last half.
No, the whole film was
Had a
bad.
cool poster.
That's
Oh,
true.
thanks.
I have that poster. I do.
It's a wicked poster.
It is a cool poster.
All right. We got to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about a plan by Universal Studios to kind of go and take the Marvel playbook. They're going to try and bring some famed characters. David, I'll be interested to see what we have when it comes to that, but that is next. Welcome back in. Leland Live rolling on a Friday afternoon in the Entertainment Roundtable, kind of taking over his time slot since he abandoned it. What's he doing, by the way, AJ? Do we know what he's got himself off and planned on doing here as he's got the day off? AJ? Hey, there you are. I was just curious as to what Leland might be doing today. Is everything okay with Leland? He just needed a day off?
Yeah,
What?
he's good. He just needed a day off, so he's good.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Need a day off.
What is day off?
So it's a concept we'll have to introduce you
It's
to
a
at some point
mythic
in time.
day when you don't have to work.
Hell,
It's a mythic.
I've heard stories.
Hell.
Actually, I took 4 or 5 of those a few weeks ago, so I'm good.
Shush your face. David, you came up with a plan by Universal Studios. Apparently, they're going to take the Marvel agenda and pick up some famous characters. Is this something that they're going to do separate films and then bring them all together in one big film?
yeah, that's what it looks like. They are going to be grabbing Dracula, Frankenstein, Monster, Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and they're going to eventually cross them over into, I guess, a Monster Justice League sort of situation. I don't know.
Hey, don't forget the Mummy, man.
Sounds
Gotta have the Mummy.
kind of awful.
Can you have the Mummy and the
What do you
Invisible
mean? It
Man?
sounds kind of awful, man.
I Frankenstein, anyone?
Well, I Frankenstein.
I mean,
but-
any-
Yeah,
well, look at
that's,
all- let's look at
that's
all-
not even
let's
any
look
part
at
of it,
all-
though.
Was that
let's
even
look at-
Universal? I mean, the
no,
characters are all
but-
public domain,
No,
so
who cares though?
Are they public domain?
Yeah.
I mean, people keep because they're going to try to reimagine it in some dumb way.
I hope not.
I mean, you look at what was that stupid Hugh Jackman movie a few years ago? with
Van
the-
Helsing,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's just going to be bad.
Oh,
It's
or-
just going to be bad.
Del Toro's the Wolfman.
See, I don't know whether it's
Little
going to.
Benicio.
I would
Yeah,
wait to
watch that.
see who they're going to get as far as writers, directors before I would pass any kind of
Well-
judgment like that on it.
I agree.
Alex Kurtzman, Chris Morgan.
Ah.
So I'm right. Because out of the duo of Kurtzman and Orsi's the good writer. So
Ooh, Lord.
yeah, this isn't
No pressure there, Ortsy.
I mean, the better.
When do
one.
they want to try and get this off the ground?
They're not really saying.
Of course, they're
they want to surprise us.
They've got to
All right.
figure out how to wrangle all these different properties. So
Don't they own them all though?
I don't know. They supposedly do, but they've got them tied up in other ventures.
Oh, good grief!
Yeah, there's another Mummy movie in production right now.
Right. I'm sure that
There
they're
is?
not
Brendan
gonna-
Fraser mummy?
No.
No,
Oh.
okay. I mean, actual mummy,
Yeah, yeah.
like the one that we're familiar with from the 1940s.
It would still be, I'm sure, set somewhere in Egypt or have some Egypt stuff there, Egyptian things of
Sure.
mythology and.
Or find a way to
Bandages.
transport it to the United States,
It'll
kind of
have
like we
something
did
to
King
do with
Tut.
a mummy.
Money,
I'm sure there'll be some money.
I'm
there.
sure it'll have to do with money too.
Money and mummies. Money.
Strapped
Alright.
for cash.
From old frightening characters to new Power Rangers, David and Ryan. Hang on, I know you're the big fan of this on the show here, but David's got the news. So let's talk about the Power Rangers. They've got writers that have been tabbed to pen the script for the new movie.
They do, and I'm actually kind of a proponent of this so far. X-Men First Class and Thor writers Ashley Miller and Zach Stentz are writing the screenplay with Bob Orsi executive producing and
You know, the
helping
good
develop
writer.
the story. Well, the better writer of the two writers.
All right, Ryan.
Slightly
This
better.
one's the franchise that you have been drooling over. What's your comments?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, I'm cool with who they got for writers and Orsi. Yeah, I'm all right with him as EP, but have you seen his work lately? It's been kind of in the crapper, a.k.a. Spider-Man 2.
Well, yeah.
Well, it fits.
No, it wasn't. But, you know, with Orsi's problems with him being a hit and miss at times with his projects on that corner, on the other side of it, I'm still looking forward to it. I have faith in this thing.
When does it come out?
Oh, they don't know yet. They have no idea what the release date
Oh,
is.
okay.
Yet.
It is a
They gotta
complete
get director,
reimagining.
And they got to get a casting thing going first.
No, okay.
It is a complete reimagining, though. It's a complete reboot.
Oh, they're reimagining it to be good.
Hopefully. But, you know, Bob Orsi isn't all that, so
This
who
is
knows?
true.
Just-
At least we don't have to worry about the Kurtzman factor.
Yeah. Phew.
Oh, goodness gracious. Ryan, let's talk about a film, Godzilla. And I know that it's come and gone kind of from most of the theaters out there, but it's still making a little bit of money here and there. Let's go back to that film real quick. You came across a bit of news and about one of the actors in that film. What took place on the set with Ken Watanabe?
Actually, I have no idea. I don't know what story you're referring to.
That
Godzilla?
was a Jacob story.
The Godzilla. Was this a Jacob story? I
Yeah,
thought it
it
was a
was.
Ryan story.
Apparently, he refused to say Godzilla in the English pronunciation, which is why he always said Godzilla.
Which I'm actually kind of happy about.
Right.
I mean, that's the way that it should be.
I'm with you.
Don't care.
I mean, it originated
Go,
out
go,
of the
Power.
story originated out of Japan. That's the way that they pronounce it over there. If you're going to get a Japanese actor to portray a role in a Godzilla film, you might as well have him pronounce it the way that they do.
I just think it's funny that he chose that moment to actually be like, "No, I have standards." Like, it wasn't that he read the script and was like, "Oh, this is like a slow-moving piece of crap." It was, he waited. He's like, "No, I will not pronounce that differently."
Hey,
Does that
you
mean
have
he's
to
not
have a
gonna be
stand.
in the sequel?
The 3 times I'm going to.
That's very possible. That's very possible. He may not be in the sequel, which, let's face it, we know we're going to get one because it did make some pretty decent cash.
Why did we have Dave on the show again?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
I'm doing my best, but you guys won't tell me to leave.
We can just tell the people at the front desk, don't let him in.
Right.
Deny his
Not
access
him.
card.
No
Yeah.
mas.
No more, not going to happen no more.
Our border is closed.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Hey, the fat guy with the Star Trek shirt, don't let him in anymore.
That's right.
David, we'll wrap this up talking with you, and kind of some sad news here. The actor that was well known to fans of the Harry Potter movie series passed away not that long ago. What happened there?
Yeah, actor Dave, I guess his name is pronounced Legeno? I don't know. He died while hiking in Death Valley National Park in California, though.
Why would you go hiking in Death Valley National Park
in
the summer?
And who was he? He was in Harry Potter, apparently?
He was Fenrir Greyback.
I have no idea who that is.
Me either.
The
I don't
huge
watch
guy
Harry
with
He
Potter.
was the big
hair.
werewolf guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Big
he
werewolf
was.
guy?
Yeah.
I think he was laying out there dead for 3 or 4 days. So
Oh.
Wow. No kidding.
yeah,
Did he tell anybody he had gone?
I guess not. They found him in a remote wash by a pair of hikers. A pair of hikers found him. So
Be
yeah,
careful
they found
about
him,
hiking all by
They
yourself.
found him by a pair of hikers.
Be careful
Wow.
about going off and hiking all by yourself, ladies and gentlemen. This is the key to the story.
In Death Valley.
Yeah, he was an MMA fighter though, so
If you don't believe us, watch the movie 127 Hours.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yee. No, it's not a fun film.
I haven't seen it yet, so don't ruin it for
Just
me.
think about those.
He cuts
Saw
his arm
some-
off.
He cuts his arm off.
I
mean,
saw
come on.
some stupid meme that's like if you watch 127 hours backwards, it's a redemptive story about a guy who finds an arm and an amputee that finds an arm. I'm just like, why do people on Facebook do that? Why do they?
Because it's funny.
They suck. I just remember reading that. Like,
He
what is-
slowly and meticulously reattaches his arm.
yeah, it's a redemptive story about an amputee who finds an arm in the desert in Iraq.
wow.
The one thing that I can say about 127 hours is this. It felt like it took the full 127 hours to get through the film. I'm sorry. It was just a slow-moving film. Good grief.
Over 2 hours?
No, it wasn't, but it felt like it was.
Oh, too bad.
Yeah.
I'm still going to see it, though.
By all means, do it.
I haven't. I just haven't seen it.
I'm going to do a double feature with 127 hours and a farewell to arms.
Oh, why?
You know what? I'm just gonna leave the show.
It's your choice, man.
There's the door.
Bye, everybody.
When you got Jeff.
Oh, my gosh. How much longer do we have in this hour, AJ?
We need some closure.
Wow. Goodness gracious. A couple of films coming out on DVD on Tuesday, which includes Heaven is for Real, the very horrible Transcendence, Sabotage, and what I can only assume is a straight-to-video release, something called Isabel Dances into the Spotlight.
Oh, that one?
Oh yeah.
It looked exciting.
I have no idea.
I can't believe
Not.
they're really getting Heaven is for Real out there real fast.
It is fast. But then
Yeah.
again,
They want to sell. a lot
God's
of
Not
DVDs.
Dead came out not too long ago,
Yeah,
so
it's a
they're
strategy.
kind of capitalizing on that.
God is not dead and heaven is for real.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Those
still
are
got
not
more
on the nose
faith-based films
titles.
coming out throughout the course of the year here. Nothing on the TV side, by the way, for if you are a TV series collector. Nothing really of note for you coming out on Tuesday. Sorry to burst that bubble. When we come back on the other side, going into the second hour, still got plenty of things to get to. A lot of it has to do with the man who is about to arrive. His name is Jacob, and we're going to be talking about Ghostbusters. We're going to talk about we can talk about this now. The trailer for the film Ouija, whatever. You see this?
No, but I've read several hilarious comments about it.
Uh-huh.
Is this? Did it say that Michael Bay was producing it?
Probably.
Yes.
What is
We
that?
saw the
Yeah,
trailer
It's like
before-
the Ouija board thing.
Was it
yeah,
Platinum
before the
Dunes?
purge.
I mean, it's just
no.
it's nothing different than any other cheesy horror film, really.
Yeah, it looks like everything that you've seen before, except they end up bringing a Ouija board out. And
They always have a
That's
Ouija
it.
board in these things.
well, in a lot of cases, or it's some sort of board game that just kind of screws everything up and brings out the ugly evil spirits, and there you go. And I looked at it and I just kept thinking, why in the world would anyone go watch this?
Where do you even get a Ouija board?
And then all of a sudden they
Give it
they
a
get.
Walmart.
I saw the
Really?
payoff.
I think so.
Okay, I'm not
It's going to be released on Halloween Day.
Of course.
and it'll make money.
So it'll make money on Halloween Day, and then it will promptly die the death that it should. Hour 2 coming up next.
Gather round your radio, it's time for Leland Live. Tell all your friends and your mom and them all about Leland Live. Just rolling along on your long way home, everything's gonna be alright. Just let it slide on the afternoon drive, time for Leland Live.
Leland taking a little extended weekend here, so he entrusted, for whatever reason, the show to me. I'm Steve West. Jeff Myers over there across from me. AJ running the board. Got Josh and David in studio and Ryan on the phone. And we just kind of turned it into a big 2-hour-long Entertainment Roundtable.
You're
Missed
welcome.
the chance of being able to do this live and take phone calls, which we can, by the way. If you got any comments, you can call in 941-1011, toll-free 866-551-9933. Coming up bottom of the hour, slated to talk to Deanna Frankowski about what's going on over there in an immigration rally, or anti-immigration rally, I guess, is really more the proper term. So we'll talk about where it is and how long it'll be going on, and I think actually there's a second aspect to it tomorrow, so we'll talk about that. And real quick, just kind of looking at the headlines, not really much difference going on over in Ukraine with the downed airliner over there. They have not been able to find the black box. The insurgents or the separatists say that they don't have it, but I don't know whether we can trust them or not. So nothing new on that front.
So should you actually call it an anti-immigration rally, or should you refer to it in the part of the Times? They are somewhat concerned about unlawful migration.
Okay.
Stop the illegal immigration into Alabama.
Well,
Protect the borders.
it
Keep
has
those
a
people
lot
from
more
Illinois
to,
out.
Yeah, really. Has a lot more to do with that. But either way, so otherwise, yeah, that's about all that's going on.
That was a long silence on the radio.
I know. I'm just looking at him freaking out. Jacob's come in and he's unprepared. He has no headphones.
I'm not unprepared.
Other than the fact that you can't hear anything that's going on other than what you say.
Right. I need a set of headphones. That's all.
There you go, buddy.
That's not all you need,
There
buddy.
we go.
Thank you. Good, sir. Well, actually, I am unprepared because I had all of my stories all printed out, nice and ready to go, and
Yeah.
left them sitting on my desk back at my office.
I thought you were going to say
In clear view?
my apartment.
Oh yeah,
caught
they're
on
just
fire.
sitting out, like just waiting.
Everybody knows.
Apartment burned down.
Everybody knows his
I was
alter
like,
ego.
again?
I got my notes.
Mild-mannered HR guy by day, and at night, he's an Entertainment Roundtable guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an HR guy, so I spent most of my day doing voiceover work. You know.
That makes sense.
Sure does.
Welcome back, Jacob.
Thank you.
Everything good?
Everything's great.
Fantastic.
Your hair looks good today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
As I try to quietly move the microphone very unsuccessfully.
Fail. Big time fail. So we kind of got to talking about some of the things in last hour, and now we get to you because there's all kinds of stuff that you have that we're going to be talking about here. And the first thing that I want to talk about, Jacob, is Bill Murray and the fact that, and by the way, you can check this out. It's on YouTube. It's gotten a rebirth, and you can check it out on the Entertainment Roundtable Facebook page. It's a Bill Murray movie that came out and kind of got washed away in the aftermath of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and you're going to have to bear with me as I try to find all of these stories on my iPad because there we go.
You didn't memorize your notes? Pitiful.
I know. Basically, there was a lost Bill Murray movie, and I'm trying to remember the name, and I'm not. This is going to be really terrible.
Where the buffalo roam. The razor's edge.
The Purge.
I know it wasn't The Purge.
Yes,
Quick
Facebook.
change.
Yes, Facebook. I would like to go to this website. I told you. I would
Nothing
like
lasts
to go.
forever, wasn't it?
I think so. That sounds very familiar.
All right, I'm scrolling. I got to see.
Lost
We
in
need Google
translation.
Magic.
We're working on it. Lost in Trend. No, that's not Lost.
There we go.
Sheep listens.
There we go. Finally.
It
Yes, it was called Nothing Lasts Forever. It also starred Dan Aykroyd. MGM had the movie, but they reportedly declined to release the film because it didn't test well with audiences. And so they have released it onto YouTube.
Okay.
So if you're interested in seeing a Bill Murray movie that never got made,
If you believe the YouTube comments, it's because it knew things about the Illuminati that they didn't want the public to know.
I love
Well,
YouTube.
Oh, wait
that
a
doesn't
minute.
surprise me.
This is the movie that Josh Coy needs to see.
False flag.
There it is,
The
right
movie.
there. False flag, the movie. I like it. We're going to talk about TV coming up in just a little bit, but we're going to jump it just a second or two. Richard calling in, wanted to talk about 24. Richard, what do you want to talk about?
Hey guys, listen, I was a big fan of the show, and I didn't know if y'all covered this earlier, and I enjoy the entertainment sections that y'all do, and I appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
Where I was interested in what y'all thought, how it ended. this week, and what is the future for that series, or is there a future for that series?
Well, that's kind of the sticking point. I'll take part two of your question first. The creators are interested in doing another kind of a mini series like they did this time instead of 24 episodes, kind of doing it in a shortened form, but Fox hasn't gotten back to them yet, so they don't know what the future is going to be. Obviously, they've left it open for that, giving you the opportunity to have Jack, who's just been kind of squirreled away by the Russians, so he's not dead, at least not yet. So the opening's there. They would be willing to do it if everything could work out. It's just that Fox hasn't gotten back to him yet.
Okay, and what did y'all think about it? How the season ended?
I like how they dealt with President Heller, and knowing that he was going to have to resign, I thought that they did the appropriate shock, even though that they did this. And being Friday, hopefully I am not giving away any spoilers here in saying that they killed off Audrey. That was a little bit of a surprise, but not a humongous one, I don't think. Now that I look back on it, I think they were leading up to it. Overall, I think the biggest disappointment for me probably has to deal with the fact that I would have preferred more episodes because I am that kind of a 24 fan. That's my favorite TV show, I think, of all time, but that's just me.
Yeah, the same way. I appreciate your input.
Thank you so much, Richard. I appreciate the call.
Thank you.
I'll be keeping an ear open, and all of us will kind of be checking it out and seeing. And if they let us know that there's going to be, or they're going to axe the character altogether, we'll make sure that you got it right here on the show.
Jack been in the hands of the Russians before?
Yeah, he was. He was actually no, the Chinese. I take that
Oh,
back.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was in the hands of the Chinese.
They're all in bed together.
Well, in this case, they actually kind of were.
Same thing.
Right.
Yeah, in this case, they kind of actually were.
Communists.
Thanks for asking my
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, 24, the way it ended, I loved it. I loved it. But, dude, killing Audrey, how dare you people?
Nah.
I was so angry, man.
Spoilers.
I'm like, that's the last good, decent person in that man's life, and you took him from us. But you know what, Jack? You took a samurai sword and you chopped off Shang's head. That
Well,
was
there's a spoiler alert for you.
So Audrey was the nerd with the dragon tattoo, right?
right there.
That's
Okay.
it. You got it.
Spoilers.
I think I was just convinced not to catch up on 24.
Dude, just buy the Blu-ray. You're going to love it anyway.
Yeah, it's coming out here pretty soon. I mean, they were already touting it on Monday night during the airing of the show itself. There's some Blu-ray coming out soon.
Meh.
Yeah, I hope Fox gives us another season, though. I want another 12, if not 13 episodes, man. Do it.
I'd love it. All right. Jacob, Disney plans for a new animated film. It comes from the people behind Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen, and lucky for me, this looks more like a Wreck-It Ralph kind of thing. It's a film called Big Hero 6. What's up?
Yeah, it's actually a Marvel property, and they're making a film about it. Basically, from the trailer is up on our Entertainment Roundtable page. Kind of a story of this kid inventor who builds this robot to fight this villain who can control nanobots with its brain. There's a very funny scene. The trailer is kind of an odd trailer for
It is an odd trailer.
It's a little different. I liked it. It was good. It was different. But basically, there's a scene where the main character is talking to a police officer, trying to convince him that a man that can control nanobots with his brain is trying to attack him. And so he builds a robot, basically, to try to fight him.
Out of a balloon.
Out of a balloon.
That's cool.
It's
I like the Iron Man-esque attitude that they had toward it at one point in time in the film.
Yeah, it's unique and different.
I
I'm
know
interested.
There was a trailer. I saw the teaser for it. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
The trailer is pretty good.
Minus planes.
Yeah, well,
Disney has actually stepped up their game a lot.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Their animation. At one
They're
point,
gonna need to.
everyone thought Pixar was kind of the only thing that was making good movies, but then Wreck-It Ralph and obviously Tangled killed it, and then Frozen killed it as well. So
Yeah, Frozen made a lot of money.
Frozen made a lot of money.
Not a good movie, though.
And Brave
It
Son.
was a
really
good
all that-
movie. I liked it
wasn't
a
really all
lot.
that thrilled with it. But then again, I'm not the target audience, so
Oh wait,
Let it go.
Was that? Yeah, let it go.
Let it go, you guys.
And let's go build a snowman.
Let's see here. We keep talking about movies that talking about old musicians becoming more and more popular, but in this case, not a dramatic retelling. It's more of a documentary, and in this case, Ron Howard. Jacob is going to be taking over this. What's the deal?
yeah. Ron Howard, who has been a big fan of the Beatles for most of his life, is going to direct and produce an authorized documentary on the group's touring years between 1960 and 1966. It's actually got the cooperation of Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Yoko Ono Lennon, and Olivia Harrison, excuse me. And they expect it to hit the end of next year.
Huh.
That actually might be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Is this a wide release? They're planning wide release?
I mean, I doubt it's going to be wide release. It'll probably be limited, but if it shows
They're gonna
traction,
make
I'm
us
sure
hunt
that'll
and peck
probably.
for it.
Well, sure be hard hitting in the show side of the Beatles you've never seen before.
I actually
You
really
think?
really like to see
No.
it. I've been
I
watching. I've been watching this CNN series, the '60s. It's really really cool. And I mean, obviously I wasn't around back then, so it's
Shut up,
amazing how crazy people were over them. It was nuts.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen like the video footage of like just girls like just running over each other.
So let me
to-
guess. Within the past couple of weeks, you've finally heard the phrase Beatlemania.
Yeah, I've heard it a couple times.
And let's not forget that, I mean, like, anything Ron Howard directs is brilliant. I mean,
Yeah.
I've yet to see anything that he has done that isn't good.
Give me a minute.
What are you talking about?
I have to
Rocky
think.
Off?
If anyone's coming up for the challenge on Ron Howard coming up with a tanker, it would be David.
It would be David.
Well, some people didn't like the dilemma.
Well,
Tell you what,
Yeah.
we'll give David the break to be
I
able
like
to
it,
figure out a bad Ron Howard film. With that, when we come
Challenge
back, we're also
accepted.
exactly. We're also going to talk about another biopic kind of film here, dealing with the 1936 Berlin Olympics. That's after this. All right, before the break, we laid down a challenge. David, you accepted the challenge.
I did.
Looking for a bad Ron Howard film because Jacob says that there is no such thing. What have you found?
1991's Backdraft. 1994's The Paper.
The Paper was good.
1999's Ed TV.
Never saw
I
it.
would agree with Ed TV.
2000's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh, stinker.
Can't argue that necessarily.
For Jeff, A Beautiful Mind. 2001.
Oh, come on.
that's a great movie.
That's a great
Throw
movie.
that one out.
Here's where you cry.
The Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons.
Terrible.
Yep.
Both.
Angels and Demons was bad, but Da Vinci Code was awesome. Come on, man.
Depending on who you ask, The Dilemma.
That movie loses
I like the
10
one.
points automatically because of Tom Hanks' hair.
Yeah, what was up with the no sideburns?
I don't know.
My only point is that, Opie can do wrong.
Opie can do wrong.
Well said.
He can.
And then Andy going to have to give him a whooping.
Andy don't whip.
All right.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
does.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah, he
mean-
does.
I'll concede on that there are bad Ron Howard films, but for
Now
the
that
most
the evidence
part,
has been presented,
for the most part,
I mean,
there's a
it's-
lot of good stuff.
It's not like he's Huey Bowl or anything. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
It's not like, even though his worst movies are better than
Right.
a lot of movies.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I mean, you mentioned Backdraft. I enjoyed Backdraft. I didn't think it was cinematic gold, but I enjoyed it.
Fire's the living thing, man.
Yes, it is. All right. Let's get back to the biography films. And by the way, if you want to take David to task on any of his assertions of bad Ron Howard films, 941-1011, toll free 866-551-9933.
feel free. We love
Come
to
at
bash
me, bro.
Yep. Plan to put a dramatic spin on the story of the Olympian from right here in Alabama, Jesse Owens. His triumph in the 1936 Berlin Olympics. He blew a hole in the whole master race theory of Adolf Hitler. It's a film called Race.
Yeah, Focus Features has acquired the domestic rights to Race, and with Stephen James, Jason Sudeikis, and Jeremy Irons to play to join the cast.
I hope Sudeikis plays Hitler.
No,
That would be-
I would almost
wonderful.
bet it's Jeremy Irons,
Stephen James will play Owens, obviously.
but that would be kind of funny in a serious role.
Sudeikis.
Oh, man, this is
Sudeikis.
springtime for Hitler or whatever it is. This is,
Nice.
this is the producers all over again.
Nice. Sudeikis is going to play Owens' obsessive coach and mentor, Larry Snyder. Let's see. And Irons is going to play Avery Brundage, who's the head of the American Olympic Committee, who fought to have the 1936 Olympics take place in Berlin.
Well, who the heck is going to end up playing Hitler?
Don't know. They have not announced
I'm
that.
excited about that story. I love the story of Jesse.
Irons,
Yeah, I mean, this
Irons to
actually
me,
could
I
be a
start
fun
thinking about
movie.
Irons, I can
not
automatically
fun,
see
but-
him being made
That's a
up
good
like
movie.
Hitler.
Well, you know,
Great movie.
Barbara Walters, I think, is leaving The View, I heard. So,
Oh, there you go.
Might be a little old for a 1936 Hitler. Now, a 1944-45 Hitler, I think you might be onto something.
That sounds like a
they
good
have,
movie.
they have
though.
makeup,
I'm
man.
excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Have they said when they want to try and get this thing out?
No, they haven't.
They've done a movie about Jesse Owens a long time ago.
A very long time ago.
And
But
I watched
it
it.
was kind of like watching the original Jackie Robinson story, which starred Jackie Robinson portraying himself, which
watched
meant that
that.
it wasn't
I liked it.
fantastic, but it was a great story.
I think the old one was based around the lawsuit because he had, near the end of his life, if I'm not wrong, kind of fell into some financial problems, Jesse Owens. And
You might be right about that.
yeah, and he had, I guess it was tax and infringement or something like that.
All right. Let's go to sci-fi in that galaxy far, far away, Jacob. Star Wars continues to cast more people. They're on a break right now, aren't they?
I think so.
I mean,
Yeah, so I say,
Not,
because of a break.
this is kind of twofold because Harrison Ford did have a break, but they actually took some break from filming on the set, and they are adding more casting.
Yeah, they have added
cast.
a actress known as Christina Chong, who was on 24 Live Another Day. And so we don't know what she's doing.
Yeah, they're keeping all that so secret.
I
But
think-
this thing just keeps getting bigger. It's like every week we talk about another addition to the cast over there. When do we just finally talk about getting the film?
You know what that means, right?
Bloated.
It's gonna be bad.
It might be. I don't know. I'm holding out hope in the fact that this is not George Lucas going in there and trying to direct his own film again.
No, it's going to be J.J. Abrams showing you exactly 5 seconds of a character with lens flare shining in your eyes, and you won't know what happened, but it was a Star Wars movie, and something happened.
Well, the good news is we won't know if it's bad because of all the lens flares.
That's a valid point.
You're awfully quiet over there, Jeff.
Valid point.
I like J.J. Abrams.
I like JJ okay, but yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if, the entire galaxy crumbles behind the might of the Flarians.
Might have a promo there. Jacob, one more thing here before we go to phone calls, and let's talk about Quentin Tarantino and his film The Hateful Eight, which just seems to be pushed back and back and back and back and back.
Yeah, well, Kurt Russell has been discussing his possible involvement with the film, and he said that that they're not going to start any work on this until the beginning of the year, which pushes it back from the original idea of Quentin Tarantino originally said November, so possibly later than we thought for. And this movie has been one that's been off and on, and quite the drama around this one. So
He's got more drama behind the scenes than he does actually on the screen in this
and
case.
I mean, you're getting Kurt Russell.
I like me some Kurt Russell.
I love
I
Kurt
got
Russell.
no problem with Kurt Russell being there.
I like
Nah,
Kurt
it's
Russell back in the
awesome.
day.
Yeah,
But,
Kurt Russell to me still kind of holds his own.
I didn't even like Kurt Russell back in the day, really.
What do you
He
know?
annoys me.
Well,
I liked him since Follow Me Boys.
Let's
There
see
you
how
go.
let's see how many
Bam.
people take him to task on the Ron Howard thing. We start off with Nicholas on a cell phone. Nick, what you got on your mind?
Well, you're discussing whether he could have been in a bad movie. I do recall back in the early 70s, and early in his career, watching a Ron Howard starring film at the drive-in that was absolutely terrible.
Grand Theft Auto.
Awful.
Got to be Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, yes. That
Yeah.
was
Mm-hmm.
the
Yep.
cheapest movie ever made.
It is extremely cheesy, but you can tell that was his first effort. I remember the film Cross Country. He is with his girlfriend Tab to drive this guy's Rolls Royce across the country, and all the mishaps that happen along the way. And in the end, they end up putting it in like a demolition derby, and then running it through a sandstorm and strips all the paint off of it.
Success.
You recall it well.
Yeah. You're right. Cheesy film right off the bat.
Well, thankfully, he did improve his skills.
Thankfully, yes. We at least got some good films out of him. Thanks, Nicholas. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I never said he
Grand
was a
Theft
good
Auto.
actor.
You leave Opie Cunningham alone.
But here's the thing: he wasn't just acting in that film.
Director.
He directed it as well.
Okay, well then never mind.
He was actor, director. I think he actually might
Yeah.
have had a part in writing the film, for all I know.
Okay, we can't win them all.
Matter of fact, that's something I now have to look up. I got to make sure. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto, early Ron Howard. I think he was. I'm trying to remember if he'd even been cast in Happy Days at this point in time, and if he had, it only would have been for maybe the first or second season, and in the off part of filming the show. That was when he did Grand Theft Auto. And
Yeah, I think
no,
I
it's
saw
not a
it
good
was like
film.
1977 or something, maybe. I thought that's what I saw, but I might be mistaken there. Because I did see
You
the...
mistaken? No.
It
Not
does
you.
happen occasionally.
1977, yeah.
Never.
Okay, here's the synopsis on IMDb.com. Rich girl steals her daddy's Rolls Royce and heads off to Vegas to get married. However, her angry parents, jealous suitor, a bunch of reward seekers are determined to basically hunt them down. That's what it was. Director Ron Howard, writers Rance and Ron Howard. His dad and Ron Howard wrote it, and he starred in it and directed it.
Too many Howards in the kitchen.
That's a terrible name, by the way. Rance Howard.
And on IMDb.com, it gets 5.4 out of 10. That's actually, I think, higher than what I would give it. It's not a good film. Don't waste your time. Seriously, don't. We ready to switch to television?
I don't see why not.
We can.
Let's do it.
We ought to.
Boob tube.
But we're going to have to wait until probably we go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Again, keeping an idea of what's going on in the world. Not much has changed out there as far as things going on over in the Ukraine with the down jetliner. Nothing has changed there. IRS, we're still trying to figure out what happened to Lois Lerner's emails. Those are gone into the ether, and nobody knows where they're going to, if they'll ever show up again. So there you go. You're pretty much up to date on what's happening in the world. We will talk television when we get back, and I think we're slated to talk to Deanna Frankowski at some point in time here in the next few minutes, AJ. So be prepared. I'm sure she'll be calling. Welcome back in Leland Live. Quasi-Entertainment Roundtable, 2-hour-long version. We'll get back to all of that here in just a couple of minutes. Kind of, once again, quick update on what's going on around the world. Not really much has changed as far as our border is concerned, which means that people still streaming over in droves. And today and tomorrow, we got plenty of rallies going on all around the country, including a couple right here in the state of Alabama. One up in Huntsville, which is actually going to take place on an overpass over 565. I think it's going on right now, in conjunction with one that's happening out on Highway 280 in front of the Walmart, and that is where Deanna Frankowski is, and she is also on the phone. How's things in rainy Highway 280?
Yes, it's a little rainy out here, but we have about a dozen people out here protesting and just being pro-American and anti-illegal immigration. So we've got a good group out here, but the main rally will be tomorrow morning, Saturday at 9 a.m. So we encourage everyone to come out, rain or shine. We're going to have tents up. So just wear your rain gear and come on out and join the fun.
Okay, once again, Highway 280 Walmart, correct?
Yes, Highway 280 in front of Walmart. It's by the Express Oil Change. We're going to be along the interstate. We're not going to be at Walmart. It's just, that's a location for you.
All right. Be careful out there. Try and stay dry as you can, and hopefully everything goes well tonight and tomorrow. Again, what time?
It is tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the morning until we decide to quit. We're going to have tests. We're going to try and stay dry. We just encourage everyone to come out and stand up for America and anti-illegal immigration. That's
all
what
right.
we're doing.
Deanna, I appreciate it.
Much.
You all have a good one now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, she is a rainy day patriot, so it's kind of fitting.
Yeah, very appropriate on this rainy, and tomorrow promising to be rainy as well. I think, what was it, 70% chance of rain, I think I heard on the weather forecast. So there you go. All right, here, David, let's kick it off with you when we start to talk about television here. And Jacob, you're all over this.
Whoa.
So rest.
Gotcha.
Get your energy up here, okay? Former Saturday Night Live cast member Tracy Morgan recently involved in an accident involving a driver behind the wheel of a Walmart 18-wheeler, and this thing blew up on social media. Everyone wanted to kill everybody involved with Walmart. Speaking of Walmart, give me a little bit of the legal issue side as far as you know it from Tracy Morgan's side of things.
Well, they're suing Walmart because their driver, Kevin Roper, allegedly plowed into a limousine van carrying Morgan and a bunch of other people. I guess it was wife and his best friend who got killed, and there were a number of injuries and one death. And they're claiming negligence because Walmart doesn't know that their drivers are
human beings
and are like staying up like over 24-hour periods and driving. And apparently Roper was like driving something like 65 miles an hour in like a 45-mile-an-hour zone.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
But it's all Walmart's fault.
Clearly.
Yeah.
No personal responsibility on the part of the driver of the 18-wheeler. It's all Walmart's fault.
Oh, there'll probably be a suit against the driver, too.
Oh, I'm sure there is. But here's the thing. If I'm the judge in this case, I'm immediately tossing the Walmart side of it out of it. I'm leaving the driver in.
Well,
Yeah,
Walmart's
no judge is
saying,
going to do that.
Walmart's
It
saying
should.
that they're sorry and that they're digging into the investigation to see what's going on with these drivers.
Because it's your employee, you're responsible for for making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do, and if they're not, then you're liable.
Spoken like a true.
Saving money and living better, huh?
Well, here's the thing, though. If the logs show that he drove only for the specified period of time and logged off and shut the truck down after that period of time, whatever he does on his own time, if he doesn't rest, that's on the driver. That's not on Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if they have rules set up and this dude clearly violates those rules,
And
then,
he was.
then that's probably Walmart's probably okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, you can drive for 11 hours, and then you mandatory have to take an 8-hour rest.
Right.
It is incumbent upon the driver to then go and actually rest, not stay up for 24 hours. Like a moron. Jacob, stay with Saturday Night Live. Some cast member changes. One of the members who just joined last year, not going to be back for a second.
Yeah, they fired Brooks Wheelan.
See ya.
He's
Who?
out. Brooks Wheelan, he's a new cast member this year.
Not anymore.
So, yeah.
He's now an old cast member.
If you enjoyed his celebrity impressions of Jared Leto, Kid Rock, Matthew McConaughey, Harry Styles, and Slash, too bad. You're going to have to find somebody else to get that from.
He'll probably go on to have a great career, like people like Robert Downey Jr., Sarah Silverman.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, every time someone gets
Yeah.
fired from SNL, it seems
Not-
like
not
they
a bad
show
thing,
up.
yeah,
in the
Christopher
exactly.
Guest, these people that once they left, got fired from Saturday Night Live, they were done.
Yeah.
Daniel, our listener, informed me that 3 others have also been let go. Featured players Noel Wells and John Milheiser, who did not have their contracts renewed, and apparently a gentleman by the name of Nassim Pedrad. He actually left.
That's a female.
Okay, a girl. Excuse me.
Oh.
I haven't watched Saturday Night Live on a regular basis
Sexist.
in like a decade. So
Yeah,
I
that
have no
makes
idea.
it better, Steve.
You
It
misogynist.
doesn't matter. I don't know these people. But anyway, she is leaving the show, and she will be joining the Fox sitcom Mulaney that's coming up later on this
What do
year.
you think about that there, Josh?
Well, it's a thing.
What?
It's a thing? What kind of thing?
It's a thing.
Can you put birds on it?
I don't watch SNL very often.
Yeah, I'm
Will
sorry.
it fit into
After
a bread
Andy
box?
Samberg left, I was like, eh.
All right, let's have a little fun with this because I don't know whether you watched it or not, but you probably heard about it. Carrie Underwood portraying the role that Julie Andrews did in The Sound of Music, which was aired live on NBC and the whole musical thing. Apparently, they're going to go back to this, and they're going to do this for Peter Pan. And
Oh, please.
Who's playing
yeah.
Peter Pan?
Don't know, but we know who's playing Captain Hook.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, me too.
Who is it?
I got a fever.
Christopher Walken.
And
Oh,
my-
that's perfect.
the only prescription is more Tinkerbell.
What's that ticking noise I keep hearing?
And the
It's
thing
like
about it is,
there's an alligator following me.
the thing about it is the person who actually broke the story and wrote the story for, I can't remember the website, said this is a gentleman who knows a little bit about watches that are hidden in places.
Right. So this crocodile had this watch in his stomach for 3 years.
hey, crocodile. You keep looking at me all wrong. Keep staring at me like that. Stab you in the face with a soldering iron.
I am so looking forward to this now. It's Christopher Walken. You have to enjoy that.
I put my pants on like everybody else, one leg at a time. But I do mine with a hook.
Except for I do mine. With
Ryan, you're awfully quiet up there in Maryland. Any thoughts on Christopher Walken and Captain Hook?
I'm just enjoying your impressions of him right now. But,
Oh, gosh.
I'm not a big musical fan. Clearly, I'm not the target audience for this kind of thing.
No.
So they can go ahead and do it. I just probably won't watch it.
Oh, with Christopher Walken as the hook, I'm in. Like,
I'm watching.
like
Yeah.
I
Totally.
watched it for how terrible this is going to be.
No,
This
I
is-
mean,
this-
I'm hoping he sings and dances.
Dude can
it's gonna be-
dance.
Oh, he
he's,
can.
I
He's
know.
a fantastic dancer, and I want
He
to
actually
see that.
can, yeah.
I'll watch the clips on YouTube like everyone else.
Watch the best parts, only the parts that Christopher Walken's in.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. NBC continues to deal with Jacob Bill Cosby. They apparently want to bring him back in a familiar role, in this case, a sitcom. What do you know?
Yeah, so they recently revealed they're going to be doing a multi-camera comedy project with him. It's going to be created by Mike Sikowitz and Mike O'Malley, who also is most likely going to co-star. Bill Cosby is going to play the patriarch of the family, dispensing his classic wisdom on relationships and parenthoods with 3 daughters, husbands, and grandchildren. It's the classic big extended family sitcom.
Wow, he's branching out.
I was going to say, they are really going far,
Yeah,
With Bill
they're
Cosby.
stretching him on this one.
Yeah, this is
Welcome
going to be a
to-
stretch for Bill
Welcome
Cosby.
to the Michael J. Fox Show 2.0.
Yeah, pretty much. Bill Cosby is going to mail this in.
Bill Cosby, as you've always seen him before.
Yeah, no
Like,
kidding.
how are they going to put like the worst comedian Mike O'Malley and the best comedian together?
I got to admit, I agree. As soon as you said Michael Malley, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah. Like, oh, this is as soon as I
I
heard
want to defend
multi-camera,
him.
I was out.
I want to defend him, but every time I think of anything Mike O'Malley's done, I'm like, oh wait, no, that was terrible. That was terrible. No, he was terrible in that.
It'll
All
be
right.
funny and then terrible.
He was good in Nickelodeon's Guts.
I was about to say, we did the challenge on Ron Howard to find a bad film. The challenge is now on. Can we find anything that Mike O'Malley has done that could actually be considered good?
No.
Nickelodeon Guts.
Guts. That's it.
No, Guts was terrible. It was a stupid.
You watch your mouth.
It was a stupid game show on
Still, to this
Nickelodeon.
day, I would pay anything for a chunk of the glowing chunk of the aggro crag.
Bring it, man. Bring it.
Da 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 da
All
da
that
da
just
da
went
da.
right over my
Guts.
80s kids.
No, 90s kids, son.
Well,
That was
that's true.
90s.
It was in the 90s, but we were all born in the 80s, so.
You all right over there?
I don't know there was a bug on my microphone, but I got rid of him.
Guys. Staying at NBC, Jacob, the upcoming show Constantine, dealing with some casting. We talked about somebody going off of the show last week. Now we got an addition.
Yeah, they are basically replacing that character with a character called Zed, who will be played by Angelica
Zed's dead.
Celaya. I'm sorry, I'm butchering that name.
Sure you are.
But apparently he's going to play. It's going to start out as a foil for Constantine, but will become the right-hand woman, and will be one of the first of several DC characters to appear on the show. Celaya is a telenovela star, but her English language TV credits include Dallas and Burn Notice.
You're in on this show.
Absolutely.
Talk to me.
Anything they can do to make it more like the actual comic book, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down for.
Amen, brother
Now-
Ben.
So they're taking an original character, getting rid of her, and replacing her with someone from the comic. So
Yeah.
sounds good to me.
Which the original, that character is in the pilot. She's still going to be in there in the pilot. But
They
they're
shoehorned her
basically-
in.
They've said that many characters are going to be killed off very soon and early in the show. So
It's a bloodbath earlier on.
So
Will they be killed off and then come back as ghosts?
maybe
That-
so.
That's one thing that
Huh.
hopefully holds true on the show, that it's not in your best interest to actually be friends with John Constantine.
No, and
Yeah.
that's what they say in the show, or as some of the producers have said, is that good things don't happen to John Constantine's friends.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Away from NBC over to Fox, Jacob, their failed sitcom Enlisted apparently might get a second life. Really?
Well, yeah, Yahoo, just having recently revived NBC's Community, is also in minor talks and early talks to pick up Enlisted for a second season. It was one of those shows that didn't get high ratings, but the people who watched it loved it.
I
So-
like the actor, but I wasn't a big fan of the show, and I skipped out after like an episode and a half.
Yeah, I
mean-
mean, I never watched it, but
Community is good. Enlisted was awful.
I didn't even watch Enlisted, so I can't
Yeah.
say that. But
Hey, I will say this for the actors who were in it. Congratulations. You still get a paycheck. Once ABC gets their TV season rolling, our friend Daniel informed me not going to take long to introduce the entire lineup. September 15th, they kick off their season with the reality show Dancing with the Stars. The very next week, following the competition, they're going to debut a show called Forever before that moves to its regular Tuesday slot the next night.
I wonder how long that's going to last.
Not forever. That week we'll also see the full Wednesday and Thursday night lineups. Then Castle comes back September the 29th. The final rollout of any new show going to be Friday, October the 10th, debut of something called Christella. I never heard of it.
Nope.
But we're now getting ideas of when the shows are going to roll out. NBC is CBS having the worst of it because of the fact that they've picked up Thursday Night Football, which they're going to air in conjunction with the NFL Network. So it's going to take them the better part of 2 months to roll out their entire lineup. And that's where we're going to go next, CBS. When we come back, got to take our final break here. Listening to Leland Live / the Entertainment Roundtable on Superstation 101 WIDE. A few minutes left here as we roll on towards 6 o'clock and a few more bits on TV news here and over to CBS and their very, very, very long in the tooth and apparently ratings desperate sitcom, 2.5 Men. Jacob, they're doing a stunt in what I think is supposed to be their final season. What are they planning now?
Yeah, and this is what I call jumping all of the sharks. Walden, played by Ashton Kutcher, is going to apparently propose to Alan, played by John Cryer, in this, and they will They will get married in this season and also try to adopt a child together.
Yeah.
Do they give a reason?
Because we are trying to figure out a way to get people to watch in the last season.
Yeah, I don't know
aside from
that.
that.
I don't know that
there's nothing.
Like a good.
There's no redeemable value to this whatsoever.
Right. Well, there never has been. 2.5 Men has been a terrible
junk
show
for years.
from the get go.
Yeah, I agree. But we'll stay with the network, move over to the show NCIS New Orleans. They've added a new cast member or two. They have news about possibly working with more established crews, Jacob?
Yeah, and this article I've got this from is not written very well, so I'm trying to piece together what they have, and so I'm sorry.
How convenient.
How convenient. They are adding a actor known called Rob Kirkovich, who is going to join the spinoff as CCH Pounder's, as a colleague for CCH Pounder's character. And they're also planning on Harmon, Michael Weatherly, and Paulie Perrette to head the rookie drama. And they're also looking at pulling over some of the characters from the original NCIS to do a crossover.
We hadn't seen that much out of NCIS and NCIS LA, but I guess with Washington, D.C. and New Orleans being a little closer together, maybe they're hoping to be able to do that. And New Orleans is going to follow the parent one. NCIS LA moves to Monday nights, and that ought to be real interesting because it goes up against the Blacklist and Castle, which those two are ratings monsters, and I'm not sure that NCIS LA is going to survive much longer. And you watch LA, don't you, Ryan?
Yeah, but I kind of dropped it this season because I have too much on my plate. But I'll tell you this, though. Monday nights, 10 o'clock, there's only one thing you need to remember. Red Reddington.
Okay. I guess he's out on the NCIS LA side. And one more CBS note. Daniel let us know that Warner Brothers has said that one of the stars of the sitcom, or that none of the stars yet on The Big Bang Theory have signed their deal for the upcoming season 8, but the execs of the studio state that they're confident Jim Parsons, Johnny Galecki, Kaylee Cuoco, Simon Helberg, and all the others will sign deals before it's panic time. Here's the deal. CBS kind of shot themselves in the foot when it came to this. This is going into season 8. CBS has said, we're going to renew you and keep you on through season 10, which gave all the power to the stars.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Hope you're willing to break out the paycheck.
Right. We
the
like money, so...
Yeah, can you imagine if they just couldn't find a deal and they just wound up recasting the entire show? That would be amazing.
Wouldn't it?
It really would. I would love to see
He's
them fail.
rooting for this.
I would love to see them fail in this endeavor.
But only if they took it from the angle that it's an alternate universe, because, nerds.
That would actually be a really good way of doing it.
Like make all the guy characters girls and the one girl character a guy.
But here's the thing, and this is the fun part.
Except Sheldon.
Everyone would stop watching, which would prove that everyone was just pointing and laughing at the nerds as opposed to the nerds actually watching the show and being like, I understand.
Right. Or maybe recast everyone except Sheldon, and he's in an alternate dimension.
That could work.
Throw your pocketbook at the one guy. And,
Dude, they'll sign the deal.
They're going to sign the deal.
Yeah, most likely.
our ideas are better.
Or they can just grab Ashton Kutcher and bring him over and have him do double duty.
That would kill it.
Maybe they adopt Sheldon
Yeah.
after they get married.
Hey, there it is. Found it. MTV, which at one point in time meant that you actually got music videos.
Nope.
Not anymore. Apparently expanding out their original series lineup with something called Shannara. Huh? What?
Steve?
What?
Do you realize there's an entire generation behind us that doesn't remember a time when MTV showed music videos?
See, there was a time, ladies and gentlemen, when the
Yeah.
M in MTV stood for music.
I remember.
Now it just stands for mediocre.
Or
Pepperidge
moronic.
Farm remembers.
Okay. Wow.
Remember the Titans?
Shannara, please.
Okay, so in December, MTV gave a script-to-series commitment to Shannara. It's a drama series based on Terry Brooks' massive fantasy book series. Jon Favreau was set to direct, and Smallville creators Al Gu and Miles Miller are going to write. But some scheduling conflicts have forced Favreau to exit, and they've now brought in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles director Jonathan Liebsman
Even better.
to direct the first 2 episodes. Basically, the books are set in our world thousands of years after the destruction of our civilization, and the story centers on the Shannara family, whose descendants are empowered with ancient magic and whose adventures continuously reshape the future of the world, which will go great right after I'm a teenage pregnant girl or whatever that is.
16 and pregnant.
16 and
or-
pregnant, or
Right.
16 and a mom, or whatever the heck that is. Yeah,
Right.
that'll go well. TNT, on the other hand, actually has some decent series, Jacob. We've discovered the truth about 3 of them. The future specifically, what's up?
Yeah, they've renewed 3 series. Their new The Last Ship, and they've also renewed for a 5th and final season, Falling Skies. They've also picked up Major Crimes for a 4th season, and they're saying Rizzoli Isles is close to being picked up as well.
Ryan, you said that you had comments galore about this. What do you got?
Well, I'm happy that the show's been renewed, but the one thing that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever is Falling Skies, 5th and final season. Why a final season? That makes absolutely no sense. This show is just getting really off the ground. It could have gone for another 5 years. Why are they ending it now? It makes no sense.
Is
I've
this
never heard
the
of it.
creators' idea? That's the
No,
thing that I'm
I
questioning.
haven't heard anything about the creators saying, yeah, we have a 5-year plan and then we're going to leave.
This one with Noah Wiley, Spielberg's producer, Alien Invasion.
I mean, if you
Jacob?
know,
I haven't heard of it.
if it's not getting the ratings
Wait, you
they
haven't heard of
want it
Falling
to,
Skies?
Is that a TV show?
Okay, we're being sarcastic here.
It's a slight note of sarcasm there. Let's see. I'm going to jump down to you, Ryan, and the AMC show Hell on Wheels, set to come back with original episodes August 2nd. You're hearing some things about the new season. What have you heard?
Yes, there's a new trailer. You can find it online as well as on the Hell on Wheels Facebook page. Premieres Saturday night, August 2nd, 9 Central on AMC. It's can't wait. They've added a new character played by Jake Weber, who was known on CBS's Medium series as the husband to Alison Dubois. So looking forward to seeing what happens.
All right. Let's stay with you on the Sci-Fi Channel. They have got a TV version of the 1996 Bruce Willis-Brad Pitt film 12 Monkeys. What's the deal there?
Yes, sir. It's going to be a new series premiering, I believe it's in January 2015 on the Sci-Fi Network. You got movie itself based on a film. Show's going to follow a time traveler from the future, played by, in this case, Aaron Stanford from CW's Nikita, also Pyro from X-Men films. And he's going to return to present day to stop the source of a deadly plague that will destroy mankind. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
This is a movie that's almost 20 years old. Is this too little, too late?
yes, and the show looks awful.
I never
You've
saw
seen the trailer?
original, so I'm in this, whatever.
Oh, that movie is one of the tightest time travel films ever.
Never
It seriously is. As far as time travel goes, everything makes perfect sense and works together.
It's not. I don't like the movie that much, but I do agree that it's pretty tightly done. It's well done. It's not my bag. But
Brad Pitt's fantastic too.
He is. But this show looks awful.
More games to want to get out.
Man, David, you really don't care about any of these shows, do you?
David's just got an attitude.
I care about a lot of TV shows, just
not that one?
12 Monkeys.
All right. Jacob, let's finally talk about Netflix here and their original series Daredevil. Casting information there.
Yeah, two cast members have been added. Peter Shinkoda. Man, I get some of the weirdest names. He has been added as the character Hachiro, which I know nothing about.
Get to the next one.
And also, Deborah Ann Wall has been added from True Blood. She's added as Karen Page, who will eventually have a relationship with Daredevil.
Fantastic.
You made it.
There you go. Jeff, still leading when it comes to the Summer Movie League. $666 million.
Bow before Zod.
Second place, Josh,
Smeal.
508. I'm third, 468.
bow.
Thank you, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. David, you're still bringing up the rear, man. But you got 2 films coming out this weekend.
Yeah, whatever.
Good luck, my friends. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for checking us out. Fastest Hour in Radio comes up next. Hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Jeff, Josh, David, Jacob, Ryan, thank you very much for everything that you have done in joining the show.
You're welcome. You hear that, David? You're still a loser.
I know.
Talk to you later, Ryan. AJ, thanks for putting up with us.